Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Self-Winding Reference 15400OR. You can see this rose gold 41mm Audemars Piguet Royal Oak and purchase it on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right-hand corner of the screen at any time to see our full listing for this watch with additional accessories included, high-resolution images, and naturally, full pricing details. Now on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, you can see that this watch represents a little bit of engineering convergence. It's a sort of intermediate step in size between the traditional ultra-thin 39mm 15202 ST, the Jumbo, and the oversized, and some might say overbearing, Royal Oak Offshores. For 2012, the 40th anniversary of the Royal Oak, Audemars Piguet launched this 41mm automatic winding variant, and it's an impressive piece because it allows you to have a true Royal Oak on the wrist without going offshore, so to speak. But at the same time, it's not thin and delicate the way the Jumbo is. Now, it's very substantial, 41mm, of course, across the round of the case, not including the crown. It's nevertheless quite thin. Even though it's not as slim as the Jumbo, it's still only about 9.5mm thick with a generously sloped bezel. So you can imagine slipping this one easily underneath a dress cuff. Of course, with aesthetics like this, you probably wouldn't want to. It does have impressive span across the wrist. Now, if you just measure lug to lug, you're going to get a measurement of 51.5mm. If you measure to the outboard rigid portion of the plots, you can't compress them completely and pull them straight down. So from the plot on one side to the plot on the other, you actually wind up with a span of 54mm, which puts this watch solidly into the same region as some oversized sports references, but it's broad and flat, not tall and awkward. It has impressive wrist stance, but again, it does stick like a limpet so low on the wrist. Again, you can wear it under anything, and I would even say if your wrist is smaller than mine, say down to 14.5, 15 centimeters, you're still going to be able to wear this one without overlap at the edge. You can see how the bracelet splays out a little bit. I've got a little bit of a margin to go here. Now, it's also important to note, if I can get my autofocus back under control, that the watch has incredibly impressive mass on the wrist. All rose gold, it's spectacular. Now, some would say that they prefer gold, but not the anonymity of white gold, and some feel that yellow gold in a watch of this proportion would be a little bit overpowering. So rose gold to those would be just about right, and it's beautifully finished. You can see the alternating satin and polished facets, including that gorgeous knife edge mirrored bevel of the bracelet. What you're getting in a Royal Oak is tremendous hand-laid metallurgical work. Beautifully cut, beautifully finished for high contrast. A huge portion of the value, the manual value invested into this watch, is in the work on the metal, and of course it has that all-integrated look. More of a bracelet than a watch that Gerald Genta envisioned in 1972 for the original. Now, it's paired with a very substantial double-deployant twin-trigger actuated clasp, not friction fit. It closes securely, and it also closes with a very low profile. Although the watch is sporting in demeanor, nevertheless it does have the shallow proportions of a dress watch clasp because this is a versatile reference. Sporting, yes, but also formal. With this much gold, you want to be able to wear it with a suit and wear it with elegance. And thanks to that clasp, it can be both secure and stylish. Now, moving back to the bezel and the dial, these are the highlights of any Royal Oak. As ever, octagonal, designed to recall Royal Navy warship portholes. It also features the white gold bezel bolts with a contrasting polish within the satin top of the bezel. The dial, what's known as the Grande Tapisserie, made by Audemars Piguet now since 2012 in-house, but still on the 19th century style pantograph machines, features a fine cut and a blue pattern. Blue, the most difficult color to galvanize, has the highest rejection rate. That's why you generally see it reserved only for AP factory boutiques and a handful of powerhouse dealers. You'll also note that it breathes better, the broader indices, the faceted hands, the larger dial, thanks to the 41mm case since 2012, makes the watch just a little bit easier to read, but still very imposing. Now on the case back, you see Audemars Piguet's own in-house caliber 3120, 40 jewels, bidirectional winding rotor, unlubricated ceramic rotor bearings. It does have a 60-hour power reserve and a stately 21,600 vibration per hour beat rate. It also features a full dual-anchored balance bridge and a free-sprung balance, so it is robust, a sports watch-style movement architecture. It's also tough in addition to being quite fine and beautifully decorated. The watch features a screw-down crown that endows it with 5 ATM or 50-meter water resistance. A full gold royal oak is by no means common, but when you combine rose gold with Audemars Piguet's exceedingly rare blue dial, you wind up with something truly special. You can see this Audemars Piguet Royal Oak self-winding and purchase it on our website.